How would you feel if someone asked you to participate in an exciting prison experiment, where you would have the chance to be either the prison guard or the prisoner? How do you think you would react to the situational pressures of being locked in a cage and told what to do, or be given the ability to have control over someone else, telling them what to do and when to do it? In 1971, students had this opportunity to take part in a prison experiment that would change the rest of psychology forever. Psychologist Philip Zimbardo wanted to test how humans respond when given power and the reaction to have their life controlled. Zimbardo was interested in viewing what happens to good people when you give them control over someone else. He recruited his participants by putting an ad in the local newspaper. He was offering them $15 a day, and they were told up front that they were testing for the psychological effects of prison life. 70 applicants applied. Through a series of diagnostic and personality tests, 24 male participants were accepted. The next step was to create the prison cells. The participants were randomly assigned and divided up into one of two groups, either the prison guards or the prisoners. The prisoners were immediately treated as criminals and were taken to the Stanford County Jail. They were even blindfolded to make sure that the prisoners didn't know where they were going. Once they arrived, they wanted the prisoners to feel completely anonymous. So after they searched and stripped them, they issued them smocks with identification numbers, gave them stocking caps, sandals, and chained their ankles. The guards were given no criteria or treatment. They were allowed to come up with their own rules. Now, on the first day of the experiment, everything ran really smoothly. But by the second day, the prisoners were already becoming restless. They even rebelled by removing their stocking caps and ripping off their identification numbers. They barricaded their rooms by pushing their bed up against the door. The night guards viewed the morning guards as being too lenient, so they were much harsher on the prisoners. They hosed them down with fire extinguishers, forced them away from their doors, stripped them, took away their bed, and put the leader of the riots into solitary confinement. One prisoner even had to leave early because he was suffering from acute emotional disturbance. Now, the guards were outnumbered by the prisoners, so they decided to reward certain prisoners and call them privileged. So 3 prisoners that were the least involved in the riots got their beds back, their clothing, were allowed to use a toilet to go to the restroom, were allowed to wash their hair, brush their teeth, and receive special food. Now, the guards purposely put the privileged prisoners back in with the regular prisoners, causing great tension and causing the regular participants to think that they were informants for the prison guards. Now, there are more detailed events that occurred after the tension aroused. But soon after, the study immediately stopped and never finished because the effects became too powerful for the participants to handle. Psychologists interpreted that this study correlated in its effects to the Nazis in concentration camps during World War II. This also applies to other examples of abusiveness of power. Although this study was deemed unethical, it left a lasting mark on the field of psychology.